Please. July 2nd. 5 of us are here now. We're waiting for John.
Are we recording this time?
Yeah, right. No distractions, no excuses to not record. So we'll get started. So I want us to shift into a slightly different space tonight, since it is the last gathering, the last official gathering. Although we all continue, and our businesses continue, right? So you can go through, that's fine. So for check-in today, again, check-in in any way that works for you, but briefly say where you are now. I can see there's some fatigue in the room. A celebration is always really nice, just something that's happened that's nice in your business or your life. And we're gonna have more time at the end to share. So we'll just start with that. Okay. And anything you need to, that's on your heart that you need to express.
So that's where we're at in the celebration?
Yeah, basically.
I'll go first. I had a really big aha recently that I haven't really expressed anywhere, so this will be the first place I express it, which is when I put my fiction first, and I had a big and almost impossible, I had a challenging deadline in mind to write and finish a novella, and I did that, and I made time for it, and I got it ready, and I turned it in on time to my critique partner. I felt ready and happy to deal with the business. It was like, wow, I really given to myself in this way that is really important to me. Now I can give to my clients, I can give to my business. And when I'm focused on my writing, I am way more connected to my physicality. I take more breaks, I get up every hour, I'm more contained, like I have very contained goals that feel super reasonable and doable. And then I'm done in an hour and I take a break and then I come back and I set the new hour goal. And I thought, wow, in my business, I don't do that. I don't have super attainable
with
goals. It was like, wow, I really did.
My apologies, apparently.
I'll pause and
Sorry.
now I can give to my clients, I can give to my business. And
Sorry about that. That shouldn't have happened.
Writing, I am way more connected to my physicality.
Oh,
I take breaks. I get up every hour.
So
I'm more
my husband
contained.
and I
Like
just
I'm very contained
pictures of
goals.
art that
Feel
we
super
like,
reasonable
and then we
doable.
send them
And then
to
I'm
the
done in an hour and I take a break.
and it hardly costs anything. And then they send it back in 2 days. You go, what is
Wow,
that?
that's cool.
Forget the name.
can you find it?
Yeah, I'll email it
That
to
is
you.
such a wonderful
Great idea.
And got all the concrete art on it. You know, it's like one of a kind stuff. So it's kind of fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Conversation started.
Yeah. And you know, the shirts are, you know, the price of the shirt and then a few bucks for the printing. The amazing thing is you get them to you like in 2 days. And you can just go on the computer and find, you know, well, he puts stuff he probably shouldn't put on, but he's not selling it.
Right.
But different artists that he finds that he likes. Sure.
Are we recording now?
Yes.
Well, long story short, my celebration is to be committed to putting my creative work first, because then, well, I'm completely tapped into that organic flow that I love so much. And then I can.
Hello?
Hey, Don.
Yay!
Second.
So we just started checking in, John. Beth's sharing right now. Well, you can join in.
Okay.
Awesome.
It looks like he's in 5.
Okay, goes work.
Very careful.
So since
Nice noticing.
since I finished the novella and I did a portion of edits and I turned it in on Monday night, And it was like, oh, I can turn my business in this way and be more organic. And so I also am blocking off time on the calendar to be focused on a more regular basis to my fiction, because I also realized I neglect it in the marketing levels. I'm like, if I could be fully committed to my own sustainable and successful career as an author, I show up that much more authentically to my clients. That's what I'm talking about, wanting to give back. I gotta do it, and I gotta do it 100%, and this is what my commitment looks like. And put it on the calendar, that's what really happens. It's so awesome. So I'm really excited.
Nice. Yay.
It's a big aha. So there's a lot of internal shift that has allowed me to then be to my business in this more awake way. Because before I was like, oh, yeah, I know. But well, that's translated.
Sure is.
Kinesthetic.
Call somebody else, Beth.
How about you, Travis?
Yeah, I guess I'm on there in between the car pictures. Well, just to kind of elaborate on what Beth said, brought something up for me. I've had a few sessions with some clients, and Beth being one of them. And one thing that happened to me, actually, after I worked with Beth, was I went home and I was like, I opened my kitchen cupboard and I'm like, this is a mess. And I got rid of half.
Physician, heal thyself.
I know, sort of like what you were saying. You know, I got rid of half my cookbooks. I'm like, I never use these. And I used a place for my Cuisinart so I could actually get it out. And I was like, oh, this is working on me. So that was kind of nice. And yesterday I bought an organizer drawer and for my kitchen. And anyway, so that's kind of a interesting thing that I've been observing. I'm getting much more organized, which makes Steve happy because he's very anal.
Which is different from being organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overlapping sets, but not exactly the same.
Yeah. He likes things in its place. So, and on another whole thing, my asthma's been really bad for 2 weeks, and it's totally getting me down. And I don't know what's going on. So, that sort of sucks. Because usually, like with my asthma, I'll have like an asthma attack, or it'll be bad for like a day or one episode. But now it's just been like for 2 weeks it's been bad, and I haven't ever had that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Actually went to clairvoyant on Sunday, which I usually don't do. A healing clairvoyant, and I'm not sure it was worth the $50.
Anything is worth the $50. I mean, if it's only $50.
Yeah. And so I've been dealing with that. Not sure where to go with that.
Okay. If you feel like it with the exercises later tonight, not the first group, you can include that.
Okay, yeah, I'd really like to.
The focus is on the business, but there's a way in which it's going to be understood that business is part of life.
Right.
And life has got other parts.
Right. So the whole asthma thing's been kind of depressing me.
Call on the next person.
Peter.
Seems to be around scheduling, having time, having space. I've got some staying with me for at least a couple days, possibly longer, which I was aware of. And feeling like some issues around to use my space.
So I can barely hear you.
And this is just where I'm at right now, and I know that later it'll be better. But right now, I'm just kind of like wanting to support and help. She's one of our teachers, and she comes in for a period of time. And when she's there, I love her, and yet things just feel really sometimes a little chaotic. I managed to get everything done today in like a pace that was really perfect, and I still felt just overwhelmed, even though it was all flowing fine. And that's something that kind of comes up for me just in general lately. Even when she wasn't here like a couple weeks ago, I was like, wow, I had this day and everything was really crazy and it felt really overwhelming, and yet everything worked perfectly. Everything seemed to be going just fine. The thing that was happening was this overwhelming feeling. So, yeah, that's happening. And celebration, and I'm hoping you got it, because I haven't heard from you.
Yes,
No worries.
I'm doing the overwhelm thing these days too. I
I-
plan to get to it tomorrow. Anyone who sent me anything in the last day and a half, tomorrow.
I wrote the email. I haven't sent it. I sent it to Leslie for kind of a review. But I feel actually really good about it. And I also am like, this is not quite marketing. Like, this is something I can only send to my friends because it's kind of a story and it's sort of long. It's, all this. But I feel like my voice really comes through it, and it's sort of like a starting place for refining things. So, and I'm ready. Like I'm actually ready. I'm like, all right, I've got comfort in the space. I'm going to be able to do this thing with the time. And now I'm like, can I actually do this if I've got someone who's staying with me for periods of time that I wasn't expecting?
So you got to find a way to be okay with saying you need to be out of here from 4 to 6. Go to the coffee shop. I'll give you a few bucks, but this is my business.
Well, and I can do
especially
that.
since you weren't expecting it.
Yeah, there's like a week. There's a potential week that could possibly that might not be an option. It's just a week, so I can kind of work with that. I'm just not really sure what's happening with it. We need to talk.
Okay. Yeah, congratulations.
I'm just having a hard time being present right now.
Yeah. Good, thank you. And we lost John.
I'm back.
Describes my day. Like everything is working except for everything I wish we did. Here I am. I got here on time. Amazing. And I'm signed on for a month of overwhelm, basically. I have a big change in habits every week into this one. So, when the roller coaster is climbing the hill and seeing where it's about to go. Celebration. What you said about how the work is working. My friend Sam and I have been having that experience. We just had our second free intro, and he says something happening. So our workshop is working already. Like, what about the experience he had. So we had like 15 people show up.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was 13, but yeah. And mostly different people. And email went out today inviting them to the workshops. So on that, we're gonna like have a machine for that, which is basically reaching out to people.
Yeah, someone who's a real prospect. I mean, there are several people I'm planning to talk to about the teleseries starting next week, because I know they've expressed interest in these things. I'm just going to take a personal touch.
And there is this moment in the workshop where Sam is instigating people to take risks with each other in a consent exercise. So we were watching this room full of gay men, kiss each other on the cheek and so wrapping up the spiciness and all PG-13 basically. But we look at each other and Sam says, "This is our job."
Aw.
Getting people to kiss each other.
And I said, I'm imagining this as an auditorium.
Okay. DS plus 2. Or DS plus 2.
And so just, I mean, it's feeling really good.
Can I just say that I was there last night and watching you be was I'm like constantly looking at you. I'm like, this guy. Like it was just like this is Josh, and he's sitting there leading a workshop with people, and I feel like he was really you looked taller. I mean, you're in a taller chair, but you looked taller. It was just like a really interesting. So I was really.
That's so
Thank
sweet.
you for the feedback. Yeah, it's really working for me.
Lovely. Let's see if we've got Mr.
I don't think he's there.
Yeah, he's right
Oh,
there.
he is.
Hi, John.
Can you hear me?
We can. I had you on mute to keep out the traffic sound, but I've got you on now.
Okay. So is it my turn?
Your turn.
Alrighty. Well, it's been a tumultuous couple of weeks. When I started this class, I started it with a goal of getting at whatever ecologies weren't working for me in terms of whatever it was that was preventing me from launching my business. And I seem to be getting down there. The mud is becoming clearer, so that's a celebration. And I think that's probably the big development. Leslie and I did a call yesterday, and was it yesterday or was it Monday? I don't remember which. I think it was Monday. And that gave me some tools to work with that have been very helpful. Yeah, it's like, okay, I've got some more work to do. Roll up the sleeves and get to getting.
So, how far are you from home, John?
What's that? How far am I from home? Probably about halfway.
That doesn't help you, John. 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
Probably closer to 25,
Okay.
give or take.
Okay. So I'm going to be planning and thinking about that. Because we can't do the heart of business with you while you're driving. The other people are too important to us.
Over to the side of the road and do it if that works for you.
Is that what you would like? Here's the order of the evening. And we can move it around, but there's the heart of business that I wanted to do to 3, like we did last week. And that would take minutes. And then, obviously, I have a
You know what? The connection quality right now isn't that good, so I'm thinking probably be better to wait until I got home.
Okay, let's do that. So I'll check in. We'll have you guys start doing it, and I'll interview you, and then we'll do the whole business. The last thing. So I'm going to mute you, John.
What's that? I'm muted now.
It's almost too much technology. It's
Yeah.
like, if we didn't have all these fallbacks, you just have to be there.
Right.
So, and accident on the bridge. So, for me, I was saying once I'm ramping up for 2 weeks away, my to-do list gets dense because I have to pre-do all the stuff, like make sure that newsletters go out while I'm gone. Other kinds of things happen. So there's really, I took last Tuesday off to go to the fair, but I've had no time. It's been from dawn till dusk every day since then. Between seeing clients, maintenance, doing workshops, doing assignments for my coach, keeping up on that, and before I leave so I can actually rest when I go. And still not have the business die when I go for a couple weeks. I'm doing some pretty cool, hefty bits with my coach right now. I'm developing all the new language around the niche. If you remember the niching handout, the last big marketing syntax, I'm redoing all of that. Coming up with some good new language with this help. And a revenue plan and a marketing plan for this fall series, and just doing lots of planning and lots of thinking through. So that probably come end of the summer, beginning of the fall, I can do a modest website, which is what I need to. So that's all very exciting. And I'm a little tired, but goes to the grindstone, eyes on the prize. Then I'm going to clap some like that and do this a few weeks. So I'm good. So here's what we're going to do. When you get home, John, and you're on mute, so you don't need to answer me, you're going to look for the handout that I emailed you. So how about Carolyn and Josh and Beth and Peter?
Okay, sure.
And basically, what you're going to do is you're going to interview each other for about 15 minutes, and then switch and do another 15 minutes. So it's basically, I'm going to do the numbers first. So basically, we're going to ask questions about where you were at 4 months ago. What happened over the 4 months is number 2. Number 3 is, where are you now? And number 4 is, what's next? And then I break it down into some questions to help just structure your thinking a little bit. So number 1, what did you want then? And it will help if you say to your partner, you say, okay, now step into the you 4 months ago. You're starting the series, so it's like a constellation. So you don't have to use your memory on this, unless you remember something, which is fine. But step into yourself back then. What did you want then? What was your biggest obstacle at the time? And this is really, really useful. From your perspective now, what's the nicest thing you can say to that person back then? What would be good for him or to hear from you, given what you know now? So that he or she could, like, relax a little bit. Basically a reinforcement. Okay. And the next one, what did you accomplish during? There needs to be a preposition in there. During the 4 months. And then I just split it up into 4 things. In the areas of ecology and self-alignment. In the areas of actions achieved and goals fulfilled, either planned or unplanned goals. And critical learnings and insights. Things you're thinking differently about. I want us to be kind of to do this so that you can note, you like can go, oh yeah, I really think different about selling now, or I really think differently about or something, you know? Okay, where are you now? And that's simple. What's best or most resourceful about right now, and what's most challenging. And the last one, asking yourself the question, what would you like? This is what you say. So, Joshua, what would you like? What seems to be next? What would you like with regards to ecology and self-alignment? Any specific goals, support you'd like, and the action steps there. Any questions about this? And so you as the interviewer, you're taking legible notes for your partner. So your partner doesn't have to worry about it.
And let's like
May.
we started in the
3 months.
Actually, no, it was the end of March. I'm sorry, I've got the wrong date in there.
So we had started in. So
It was the end of March.
3 months.
I mean, it's been eight every other week sessions, so that really adds up to
that's
4
why.
months. Yeah. So I think it's the end of March. I have the wrong date in there.
April, May, June,
Well, the very end of March, very beginning of July, you know, one in March and one in July, so.
How we count time?
It was 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
No, 8 times 2 weeks, sorry, 16 weeks.
So technically, it's 4 months. It doesn't feel like 4 months.
Funny conversation.
It feels very short because
To me,
It's astonishing.
it's a quarter.
Yeah,
It's a semester's worth of work.
yeah. So, off with ye.
Off with the.
And if you need help, let me know.
Shall we go invite? So seriously, you're inviting
It's
the
awful.
eligible?
Yeah, I will do my best to make it happen.
Hey, John. So at this point, you can probably hang up. Because, you know, they're going to be doing their interviews.
Okay.
I took you off of mute. I think I took you off. No, there you are. Now you're off of mute. And then just call in when you're, you know, in front of your computer again, okay?
Okay.
Okay, see you soon.
See ya.
Okay.
Step into review around
Okay.
April 26th or around the beginning of the series.
Yeah, March 26th, I think is what it turns out to be.
What did you want?
Support. I guess I didn't really know how to start. And I think I needed a little push. And because I was feeling a little nervous and insecure starting the group and not knowing anybody, you know, not knowing how it was going to go.
Anything else you were wanting?
Well, mostly what comes up is, you know, what I wanted was someone to say, okay, this is how you do it. This is what you need to do. Guidance. Guidance and support are the words that come to my mind.
What was your biggest obstacle?
I think I wasn't sure that I could actually start a business. Lacking in self-confidence. Kind of stepped into that maybe 4 months ago. I guess that's good.
From your perspective now, what's the nicest thing you can say to you back then?
I think that I really learned a lot. And it all sort of, you know, slowly developed.
So I'm going to invite you as the interviewer to help her phrase that, to say to her, you're going to learn a lot.
So can you phrase that as how you would say
Oh, if I would say
You were
it to
telling
my
me.
other person.
to her
Okay.
the you that you were
Oh,
back
okay,
then?
because we're sort of doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you could
Okay.
imagine her in front of you.
Okay, you're gonna really learn a lot. And actually, you're gonna have some fun. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry, and it's gonna be good. It'll be good.
Okay, good, good, excellent. Okay, good, excellent.
Anything else that would be good for her to hear from you, given what you know now?
Just want to tell myself earlier that the support is there, and not to worry.
So how would you say that to her?
Oh, the support is there, and you don't really have anything to worry or struggle about. You don't really have to be anything. You don't really have to achieve anything. It's all gonna happen. You don't need to struggle. This is good. I like it. This is a different kind of interview.
Okay, so over the 16 weeks that we've been in class, what did you accomplish around ecology and self-alignment?
So now I'm just talking to myself now. A big thing around ecology for me was I think the pieces around not wanting to be seen. It's really helpful for me. I feel like my ecology has shifted around that, and also around asking for help. I had a little shift around that, and a lot of it had to do with me just sending out my email. And once I did that, it freed me up to work on my wording for my website. So that's even more visible. The becoming visible and having, just the little things like business cards, headshot, all that stuff is just being a little more visible.
And what did you accomplish around actions achieved and goals planned or unplanned to fulfill?
So some of that I always just said.
Sure.
Actually, yesterday, someone that I told about my business said, "Oh, sign up for LinkedIn," and he went to the LinkedIn, and so I actually got my headshot on LinkedIn and my little bio on LinkedIn. I've been just writing LinkedIn for years.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, we went to LinkedIn with you when I was at work." I would get those all the time. I just blew them all off. But I actually went, and it's kind of spooky because they're like, "You may know these people," and I'm like, "How do they know that I know that person when they're not even in my email list?" It's kind of scary. But anyway, it was also kind of cool. I'm like, I wanted to actually tell this person about my business, and I didn't have her email. And then she's in LinkedIn. I haven't actually hooked up with any of these people, but I'm like, how do they know that I know this person?
Science.
It's kind of.
Any other actions achieved or goals fulfilled?
So I'm feeling really good about getting ready to do my website, and I didn't hear back from you, so I figured you were too busy. And my great niece and her boyfriend went to do it, and they called me today. And I'm not sure I want them to do it. They're like, "Yeah, we've been researching this, and we think we know how to do
Oh
it."
no. I'm sorry I haven't replied back yet. I've been.
I just figured you've been totally busy.
We should still talk about it
Okay. They're like, yeah, we totally want to do it.
though. Did I send you a link to places to look for themes?
No.
Oh, shoot. Alright, that's the next thing I need to do.
Yeah, because
Oh, but you said you liked the theme that I had.
I did, and then I was talking to Leslie or somebody else maybe, and they said that. They said that WordPress is really good because then you can just do blogs.
That's what the theme is for.
Yeah.
Let's talk more.
Okay.
Let's continue on this.
Okay.
Any What did you accomplish in terms of critical learnings and insights?
Critical learning. I feel like I learned tons of nuts and bolts stuff. Like I didn't even know what a landing page was. I didn't know. There was tons of stuff I didn't know. And I think a lot of the articles that Leslie sent out, I read a whole lot of stuff about, marketing for hippies and all that stuff. Resonated with me.
So you've all been through 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes left with your first interview.
Shoot,
We have
let's
to
move
keep
on.
going.
So, where are you now? And what does it feel like to be you now in business? So, what's best or most resourceful right now?
Well, I actually feel like I had a client and I had like a whole 30-minute session, figured out what I was going to do, actually did it. And so I guess that feels good that I actually saw what I was going to do. Because that's kind of considered.
What is most challenging?
Oh, that's easy. I'm still really frustrated with all the computer stuff, the technology stuff. And this meeting.
So, asking yourself the question, what would you like? What seems to be next? First, there is ecology and self-alignment.
I really like to shift my energy around this whole computer stuff and my business stuff. And just try to model myself after my granddaughter and just play and it's fun. And that's not working so well. So anyway, that's what I look for.
What would you like around any specific goals?
Specific goals, I would, I actually need some more clients.
What would you like in terms of support?
Well, next Wednesday I'm going to go to that Napa National Organizers, Professional Organizers Association. I'm probably going to join that, and then I'm probably going to, I can get a mentor. And what I kind of want to do is see if the mentor would actually take me with her when she has clients so I can see how she does it. I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
I actually felt in the beginning that I would be better at organizing than the change work. But in the sessions that I did, I felt like the change work went really well, but then the organizing, I was sort of stood there like sort of stuff. And so I didn't feel like I was in charge of that. So I don't know.
What would you like in terms of any action steps?
Just back to somehow I need to get the marketing thing more together and so I can figure out what I guess I do.
So can we call that have a marketing plan?
Oh, damn. I have a marketing plan. Okay, that's the.
Which is the translation of do that marketing thing.
Yeah. You know that marketing stuff out there that, we're supposed to do, but I just want it to happen on its
I
own.
know exactly what you're talking about. So that's for you.
Thank you.
Here's my writing.
Yeah.
I'm happy to translate.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And you obviously can take these home and, add.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have to warn you, I'm a really bad speller, but I'll do my best. Are you ready?
Yes.
With respect to your experience around March 26th, the beginning of the series, what did you want that tune into that first one when we started that first night.
Not a good idea to eat something before this.
Let's have some lemon in there.
So, I really wanted direction. I really wanted to like shift ecology out of the way. I really wanted to like get my NLP practice going. Like I wanted to be doing NLP. Those are and I wanted to like move toward some of the goals that I wanted to feel like I was moving forward. Instead of like paddling on one side of the circle.
No misspelled words.
How do you know if I misspelled it or that spelling?
Because I can't spell them. It's like there may be like a really simple word, and I know that word, but something clicks in my brain and I can't even get the first letter. So you can't look it up in the dictionary. But another time I can spell that word. So I know it's spelled right now. Okay. What was your biggest obstacle at that time? If we go back to when is John home?
Looks like it.
Should we move somewhere else?
No, you're fine.
'Cause if we
Hi,
go-
John, are you there? I see you, but I don't hear you. Oh, there you are. I hear you now.
I'm back.
Okay. So, no, I can move. Okay. So we've got about 10 minutes for me to interview you.
Okay.
You're not going to interview me because I don't have time for that. Yes. Okay, John, you ready?
Yes.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
So step into the you who started this class on March 26th, 2014. Do a little time and space travel. And as you're inside him, notice what did you want then?
Well, I wanted to get a hold of these ecologies and blocks that have consistently been preventing me from successfully launching my business. Preferably move through them, but and have them behind me. But even my suspicion is that they're bigger than that. That there's some big stuff down there that I haven't gotten a hold of yet.
Okay. So I'm going to take notes, and when I get home, maybe tomorrow, I'll scan it and send it to you.
Okay.
At the time, what were your biggest obstacles?
Resistance toward sitting down and doing the writing that I required. Patterns of distraction, dissociation, an excitement around developing and like having it done and up, but then when it came time to actually do it, aversion. and I was having a difficult time identifying the feelings that I was having around it, or like I didn't know why, but I would set aside time to work on my business, and I would sit down, and then I would go do something else instead, or something else would come up, and this was fairly consistent.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. So from your perspective now, here, what's the nicest thing you could say to that John back then? What would be good for him to hear from you, given what you know now?
As I look back on him, I see shock and kind of frozenness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say breathe, be patient. Be patient with yourself. It's coming.
Anything especially nice you could say to him that you know about him, but he doesn't know about himself?
First words, you are loved.
Oh, okay.
You are welcome. Your gifts are necessary.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now looking over the 4 months, what did you accomplish? And I'm going to divvy it up into 4 different sections. Okay. So in the area first, most importantly in the area of ecology and self-alignment, what did you accomplish in that arena?
I have gotten deeper into the ecologies that are blocking me, have been blocking me in the past.
Okay.
Kind of feel like I've gotten more traction there than I had before.
Okay.
And some new tools to work on it.
Okay.
Just really seeing the value.
Okay. What did you accomplish in the area of actions achieved and goals, either planned or unplanned, finished?
I got some writing for my Yelp page done.
You also redesigned your room, right?
Oh, my treatment room, yes. With new curtains and ostensibly new lighting, but that needs to be changed.
Yeah. And you also got the video done. I mean,
the video got done, yes.
Yeah.
Part of what sparked this whole thing was my decision to go with the Yelp advertising, which is $350 a month, and if I'm going to be paying that if I'm going to be paying that kind of money, I darn well better be putting some action behind it.
Well, here's the deal. Just this is off book, but if you've decided the Yelp is not a good investment, because that is a lot of money, you still have the video, which is extremely useful and can be used in lots of different contexts.
Yes.
So the video is actually the more useful thing. If you found after a few months the Yelp thing is not doing much for you,
well, the thing is, the Yelp thing is probably doing more than I can take advantage of right now because my website is still pretty crappy, and most of the people who are clicking on who are viewing my Yelp ad and clicking through are going to my website and they're finding not much there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what it points to is that I need to develop my website, but that circles back to before when I would sit down to write and then nothing would happen.
Okay. Okay, so the third area in what did you accomplish in the 4 months were critical learnings and insights. Things you understand differently than you did before. Like a new way of thinking about selling or marketing or visibility or any new insight or learning. that seems important?
There's a number of small things like email list and scheduler and finding out that what was it, practitioner insurance or whatever, I don't remember what it was called, but
Liability insurance.
liability
Yeah.
insurance was actually really cheap. From an operational perspective, and that I'm actually already really curious about doing things like developing different layers of products, like the introductory product and the next tier up and the next tier up and whatever. And I have some ideas that are like kind of under the surface for those.
Nice. That's really important for body workers.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Critical insights and learnings.
Again, they can be more conceptual and abstract, or they can be very nuts and boltsy.
Some of the selling stuff was really fantastic, like the whole selling as a sacred transaction, I think is what it was called. But that whole angle of looking at it from that perspective and not having to convince someone to put down money for what I'm doing. There was another moment where we talked about letting it land, like letting the other person feel like squirm in their pain, knowing, to kind of discover as they're discovering what I do, and like some of that stuff comes up, and then they're going, and I have a solution for this, but letting them squirm in it, in their like in the past I would sort of like try to bring them through before they had, really recognized that they were what they were doing, and that kind of, if that makes any sense.
Excellent. Okay. So 2 questions around where are you now? These are really simple. In the context of what it feels like to be you now in your business. The first is, what's best or most resourceful about right now?
Probably that I have ancestral support where I didn't before.
I have a website.
Nice. Okay.
And I've been working a lot with that. When we had the you were talking about Flatland and the line and finding
Right.
the place off the line.
Right.
I've done it about 3 or 4 times in different areas already since then, and it's all new to me, but it feels like the right way to go.
Excellent. Finding a new map. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And what's most challenging?
Feeling like I still have a lot to go, a
Yeah.
lot more to do.
Ecology-wise, you mean?
Yes.
And if it goes back to our conversation before that, you have a lot to do with your ecology, and it feels like it has to be done before you can really get into action. Yeah? It's making action difficult.
It is making it. Yeah, I feel like it's making it difficult. Whether it all has to be done before I take action or not, I don't know.
I'm so glad you're saying that, because it doesn't. Believe me, I got way more ecology to work through. Between you and me. But so it's a feeling rather than actually true. So, okay, good. Just to catch up with everybody else, we're just going to go through the last section a little quickly. Ask yourself the question, what would you like? That's the NLP question. What would you like? What seems next in these areas? Start out with ecology and self-alignment.
What would I like?
And this would be a good time to be at least a little specific about one area of ecology. even though we understand there are a bunch of pieces.
I would like to attract people into my business, like new clients, with ease and fun.
Excellent. Lovely. Any specific goals? Like get a website done, or your website, developed.
Well, so I took some time off early next week and for a trip, and I'm getting back into town on Tuesday, and it'd be really freaking awesome if I could have a client or two for Tuesday afternoon, like sometime 2 o'clock onward.
Okay. Okay.
That would be awesome.
Okay, so we'll put this in the area of like manifestation. How about something that's actually under your direct control?
Probably to have my website squared away, and like website infrastructure, scheduling, mailing lists, all of those things in alignment and with useful information.
Okay. So I'm just going to give you a tip. That sounds like a by the end of 2014 goal.
Okay.
No? That's just a lot. I mean, you can have some of them done earlier, right? But that's a long list. Good. Okay. What would you like with respect to support?
Only seeing the clients who are existing.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I kind of got clear that.
Wow, I'm like drawing a complete blank. What would I like in terms of support?
It could be even just to feel the ancestors even more.
It could be. I mean, that's a good place to start because it feels like really sticky and gooky to start to probe into that.
Yeah. So I'm going to put question marks for another bullet, and I invite you to find some constellation thing, and you can just write a card saying future support, put it on the ground, step into it, get some information. Information gathering for yourself. The other way to go about it is think of some other things you want, and then think about what help you'd need to get there with them. Like for me, if I'm going to revise my website, I'm going to need to find a decent web designer for a reasonable price. I mean, that's just, so think about some of the other things that you want, and then you can ask, oh, what help do I need around that and that and that? Okay? And then the last one, any specific action steps that come to mind that you would like next?
Specific action steps. I have my Constellation Learning Circle up here with Gita coming up the weekend of the 11th. So I'm looking forward to that and hopefully doing a constellation there. There's the Money and Ancestors class of yours that I'm looking at. And my partner Tara took some photos of me, and I could use for my my Yelp page instead of because I have my glasses, but because it was taken in the sunlight, they were kind of tinted, and so that people can't see my eyes. So she
interesting.
picture, and I just haven't put it up there yet.
Okay.
So that would be a good small one to get started.
Okay. And obviously, as you look at this, the goals, the website, the scheduling, all that infrastructure stuff, then you can start like going, okay, let's break down the steps. Yeah? What are the steps I need to do for that? What are the steps I need to do for that? Okay, good. So let's all gather together, folks.
Yeah. Are you still thinking about focusing on people with end of life stuff?
Not so much right now.
That's the concept.
It seems like a really good mix, but I'm not sure. What they probably don't need organized.
Okay, actually, I gathered us all together, but I kind of shouldn't have done that.
Oh, you're gonna split us up.
Yeah, I want us to go do the heart of business thing.
Okay.
And then we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back to this stuff.
Same
And this
for
stuff.
different people.
So, I want the boys together and the girls together.
Okay.
So remember, when it's your constellation, you're not representing. Okay?
Oh, cool.
Oh, you're watching?
You're watching the other two.
Oh.
And you can ask questions and stuff like that, but.
You're watching yourself watch yourself. Just that one part.
That's all that came out.
Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Cool shirt.
Okay.
And is that a good angle for us? Yeah.
Who wants?
You can do my constellation.
Okay. Just to designate us.
Okay. So you are me.
Okay.
You are the heart. Sorry, the heart of my. Gosh, I like to call. You are the heart.
I had a second. Should I take this away?
I'm like, are you ready to play with me?
I'm kind of excited. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it. Whee!
I feel like, all right, take me off the shelf and let's go.
Alrighty.
Are you ready, John? Are you, or ready, me? Is that how you're feeling?
I'm noticing some like how do I take you off the shelf when I can't like reach out and like pick you up, but I'm excited and there's some wheels turning in my head about how.
And I'm like, if you could take me off the shelf and hold me, it would sound so good. And then just like take me places and like
Totally.
what we do together would be awesome.
Like I have an impulse to do exactly that.
Oh, you can show me off to people on the street. We can recruit them to play with us.
Yeah.
Is there anything? I don't know. You guys are doing a pretty good job.
No, it's we recruit enough of them, we'll have a whole band of people, and then it'll get really good.
Flash mob.
Well, that sounds fun. Is there anything else that you're feeling, me, or anything that you're noticing?
I'm noticing my knees a little bit wobbly. My knees, both of them.
What about you? That you're noticing?
I mean, now that I've got this picture of like a group of people that we're playing with, I'm really like digging on it. I mean, we can do a flash mob if you want.
But no, we could play with a group of people too. That'd be.
I mean, in terms of how we play with them,
Yes.
I'm open. But it's kind of almost like a secret club. Not so secret, but like.
We're doing cool stuff.
Yeah, like we're definitely recruiting people for something special.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like boys only, but you know, it's got some feel like that. We're like cool people.
How does that sound to you?
Yeah, sounds good. I like it. Let's do it.
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm driving the bus, and I don't want to do that. So now I want to know what you want.
I'm finding a little bit uncomfortable that now I'm the one being looked at.
Uncomfortable with what?
That I'm the one being looked at.
What do you mean?
If you want to go through your first group, finish up your first group.
I'm not sure I know what I mean. Like what you said about you felt like you were driving the bus and you didn't want to do that, and I'm just like all of a sudden like I'm not sure what I want to do, and now you're not suggesting things anymore. So I'm like, okay. I want to play, but I don't really have a necessarily an idea of what that looks like or what that is.
Okay. Well, get one. I'm a little feisty as a heart of business today.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Let's break and switch.
Okay. Next, you or me?
So,
I'll go next.
Okay.
Let's see. Would you be me? Peter? And would you be the heart of my business?
I'm feeling a little sad. My attention's kind of sort of over here a little bit, and oh, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, when I look at this one, I'm really sad.
I can't hear you.
I feel really sad and I start to cry when I look at this one over here. So the floor is a little safer, it's a little less intense.
I had this like, I feel very sweet as this heart of business.
You feel very what?
Very sweet and very good. Like, this is like better than some drugs I've had. Sweet and soft and caring and gentle and loving and
my guess is for this to really
powerful is the right word. Strong. Something in between strong and powerful.
I'm just I'm zoned out right now. Just kind of down here, like I kind of feel like now like I almost went a little numb.
You
Like
want, you feel like what?
Like I went a little numb.
Okay.
And yeah, just this the
Do we need to
hardness
switch?
Yes, if you're not
really,
out of the second yet.
really makes me sad right now.
When I stand here for whatever you were looking at.
So Josh is standing where I've been looking, representing whatever that is.
So, no, that we're going on vacation.
I feel very neutral. Just kind of almost numb, just sort of like it could just be like a wall.
I can only bank out about every other syllable.
Yeah, when Josh was standing there in the spot that I've been looking at, I felt like I was just sort of numb and almost looking just like at a wall, like I didn't have an emotional response. Yeah. So there we go.
All right, we should switch.
All right.
Okay. You would be the heart of my business.
Howdy.
Hey,
How's it going?
I'm fabulous.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. I'm looking good. I'm looking real good. I'm looking fantastic.
Simmer down now. I feel really great. I'm excited. I feel really more grounded actually than I feel like I've felt in a while. And part of that is feeling really good about this right now, and about you, and about the way that we're showing up differently than we've shown up before, and how cool that is. So, awesome.
I feel like springy and spry and like.
What's that?
Springy and spry. Like ready to. But if there was something to pounce on, I would pounce on it. But you know, other than that, sort of like not quite Tigger-like, but definitely like ready to take action.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we're doing a lot more of that, and there's a lot more to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm in agreement with that.
cool. Yeah, I'm excited. This is just the beginning at this point. Yeah. Good job, us.
Go us.
Go us. Yeah. Definitely.
I like the playfulness here.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. It's nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, folks.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Dragon.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, we're taking a break now.
Is that what you said?
I think she did say we were taking a break, but
Good, because I'm gonna go use the bathroom then.
yeah, we're gonna take a break. That really wasn't the way, but
They're coming, Leslie. Yeah, they are. They are. I get they're coming. And I'm going on vacation.
Well, you need some kind of
Well, you need to, yeah, you need to chill out so you'll be ready.
people will respect you even more.
Well, and I've been aware with the emails that have been going out lately. You know, I have the free telecalls of the series coming up and the business calls, and it's, there's a few too many offers right now, but there's not much I can do about that right now.
Anybody want
I'm going to do it at the end.
Good morning.
It's Singing in the Rain. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor and Jim Kelly.
I think I'm going to put an audio welcome on my website. I think you would benefit. Well, you have your lovely video.
I need to come up with new videos and stuff. I mean, I need to just develop all that stuff. I was hoping to come up with some videos as part of the getting ready for the series, and I just
It's like
I just something about when you get a coach, your to-do list expands.
I don't call Jennifer my coach, even though I have coaching sessions. And then we do a to-do list, and then I was looking for it the other day, I couldn't find it, and I'm like, that's okay. We know exactly what you need to do. The problem, he texts me, Tosh, that's you and Percy. When I was taking a sales call, and taught me how to say thank you.
Glad you made it, John.
Me too.
Yeah, hi, John.
Hi.
I know we're on break, but hey, you're in your quiet home space.
I am.
It's better for us too when the backdrop is not your work. I think it creates tension for us too.
Yeah. It happens to be one of the worst times to be traveling.
Yeah.
And I have some of the worst traffic to get through, and today it was even worse than usual.
Wow. Yeah. You're in the Seattle area?
What's that?
You're in the Seattle area?
Yes. So I work in Redmond and I live in Green Lake.
And how far is that distance-wise?
Well, when there's no traffic, I can make it in 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
When there is traffic, it can take an hour and a half.
Yeah.
When there's an accident, it can take an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When there's traffic, it usually takes between 40 and an hour.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, John, for the purposes, I'm going to take pictures of your answers.
Pictures of my what?
Pictures of your answers.
Okay.
Because they might be useful. And I'll send them as attachments to your email.
Hi, John.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hanging in there.
You made it home.
I did.
Okay, John, it's on your way. You should get it in a moment.
Fabulous. Thank you.
So right now I'm writing my newsletter,
Oh,
and this has been I use GetResponse, which is a service.
what do you use?
It's called GetResponse.
Oh.
It's a service like Constant Contact.
Don't do constant contact.
Um,
Don't do constant contact.
I use them for maybe a year or two, and then I switched.
Got him.
So I'm just writing content and moving out to things.
How much is GetResponse?
That's a sweet picture.
I'm grandfathered at a cheaper price. I'm paying $47. And actually,
And what do you get for that?
I have so many. I'm sending out as many newsletters as I want. I don't know what the subscriber max I have might be like 10,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm saying is, if I were to have more than 10,000 people, I would have to pay more.
Right. 10,000 is a lot.
Something like that. I haven't kept an eye on it because I was like, I'm not going to get there anytime soon.
Yeah.
I have autoresponders.
Yeah.
I use that a lot, and I have multiple lists. So I have a creativity sparks, and then I have.
That's standard.
Yeah.
You can get that with MailChimp up to
Okay.
what, 2,000. The thing that you can't get for free with MailChimp, which everybody needs, is autoresponders. But it's still pretty cheap. It's
Yeah.
like $10 a month or something.
Okay. Actually.
Or 15, 10 or 15 a month.
I think if I were paying the going rate, it would be about the same.
Yeah.
Response.
Right now, I mean, because I went over 500, between 500 and 2,000. Constant Contact has free, I mean, the autoresponders is no extra charge for it, but Constant Contact is not free.
Right.
It's $15 for up to 500. Between 500 and 2,000, it's $30 a month. So I'm paying $30 a month.
MailChimp is the same.
No, it's like 15 up to 1,000 or something. So and you have to pay extra for the autoresponders.
Oh, okay.
So
GetResponse, you might want to check them out.
exporting is a pain.
I did it. You can do it.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And then you have to develop a new template all over again.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Time consuming.
I have done so many different templates, and actually, I keep evolving it.
I mean, I even just want to create a new one on Constant Contact because
Yeah.
I can't stand my current
Do you know
template.
that the good thing about Constant Contact is they don't answer the phone. You can call them.
Or you can get an instant chat.
Yeah, but you can actually call them. And I worked with an older client who loved them because of that, because she's very phone.
Okay, so
I was having the owner.
I thought they were
No.
very briefly, because most of what we're going to spend, so we're going to do two things, which I've never done before. We're going to do kind of timeline constellations. It's more NLP timeline stuff than it is constellations, but it's some, there's some overlap here. And so I'm going to leave you at least a half hour to do that on your own. You're going to be on your own for those. And then at least a half hour at the end to talk about stuff and share. So very briefly, you have a chance if there's anything about this that left out that you want to share that seems important. Just in case there's something that's important that you want to share. We have two people on the devices.
Sorry.
Okay, I start working on my newsletter. It's like, did I say? Yes, saved.
I'll share something like this.
And John, can you hear Peter, or do you need him to speak up just to see that?
I have a hard time hearing Peter almost whenever he talks.
I know,
Yeah.
sorry, that's me. I'm working on my volume control.
The screen and you need to click it. So.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the things that jumped out at me in this were actually how much has actually
How come
shifted
it's
from
not
when
going
I
over?
started to where I'm at now. And, really wanting to start a business
there
and
it is.
being scared and not knowing where to start, and apology around seeing clients, and apology around talking about what I'm doing and being visible. And wow, yeah, I've actually made some headway on these things. I've seen clients. I've actually been incredibly visible in ways that I've never been before, and also gotten really clear that I actually want to do this. I want to build a business, and I want to do NLP with people.
That was a big piece, clarifying that recently.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was really helpful.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that even that the
Right.
was like really helpful, because I think I came into this like, I'm so ready, and the inside of me is like, is this really going to happen? And now feeling pretty good about doing this stuff, and talking to people and meeting people. So yeah, it looks like a lot of the stuff that I came in with is actually already shifted. That was kind of awesome to see. So
Yeah.
that was good.
Excellent. Yeah.
The question is just any big.
If there's anything you want to share,
Right.
briefly.
I would say the one thing that was really actually amazing was to realize that when I first came here, there was a part of me that felt like I was doing something wrong. I didn't have the results I wanted. And my present self said to myself then, look how awesome you are in like creating support for yourself. And so what we've done. But there was something very heartfelt for me in just recognizing how I gave myself this as a form of support. And to me, that's so beautiful. I am standing up for myself. I'm there for myself. I think that's and that even then, even with the I must be doing something wrong, here I am creating support for myself.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share what you noticed?
I noticed a lot of good things shifting. Like that past me was really wanting like some direction. And I feel like I have a lot of that now. In terms of like niche, like something to focus on. And it's moved toward where it needs to be, and it's continuing to move there. I mean, we spoke today, and she talked about this infinity of options and like being able to know these ones. So I feel like I'm got some way to go, but like based on where I was, it's like that shifted a lot. Really was feeling just like stuck and not moving anywhere, and now I feel like I'm moving. And that kind of came to a head on that group clearing call that weekend, and then Hollow happened, and now it's just like going. And I really had a lot of ecology about like being in front of the groups and putting on the classes and making these offers. And shifted out, so I wasn't doing that. And the big thing is like noticing the my goals back then, the things I wanted were so ambitious. Like, it's easy to feel like not a lot's happened based if I just looked at things I've done externally versus all the things I wanted to do. And like there's a lesson in there for me on that around like slowing down in order to speed up and focusing. And there's like, it almost feels visual to me, like the truth of the, my tendency then to like want everything now. This is what my capacity is.
Yeah.
Is like coming into focus where I can see that. Just noticing that discrepancy is huge because it's like, all right, let's get real. And based on what's real and what my capacity actually is, from there.
Yeah.
So from working from where I'm at versus where I want to be, out of frustration to not be there, like, that is just.
That's why planning can be so helpful, and sometimes you learn by experience by saying, oh, I'm going to get these 10 things done in 3 weeks, and then at the end of the 3 weeks, you realize you really could, you worked your ass off, and you really only could get 3 of them done. Oh, I need to have different expectations about, I think capacity is a great word. Yeah, that's a really, really good word. I like that. Excellent. John or Carolyn want to share anything about what you learned in your interviews?
No.
Carolyn's feeling quiet. John, do you want to say a word or anything you noticed?
What I noticed, mostly, God, what did I notice? That I have more work to do.
You're so cute, John. Oh.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, I wish that I could, say that my website was up and things and clients were coming in and everything was wonderful, but unfortunately, it's more like I'm just kind of getting deeper into the muck that's had me stuck for a long time anyway, and that's a good thing. It's a step forward. It's kind of why I joined the class in the first place. So, that's a success.
Well, it's kind of like Peter noticing he had doubt that he needed to actually deal with properly. You're noticing all this stuff that needs to be dealt with properly.
Yeah. And what's up for me right now is sort of like choosing. I can choose to be okay with where I'm at right now, or I can run away from it. And I'm not excited about the idea of maybe some of the things that I want to have done are going to take me through the end of the year to get them done. And if that, better that than the middle of next year, or later than that even. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
And there are times we get things done faster than we thought, but I think it comes back to Joshua's insight about capacity.
Yeah. And it bumps into my impatience. I'm like, I want to get it done now. Like, I want it to be done and behind me. And
I hear you, brother.
You two need to get on the phone. Yesterday. What happened to yesterday? Get it done yesterday. There is an honor. It's something I hope you all continue to get in touch with. The way precisely it is unfolding. I mean, again, for me, Exhibit A was spending all that damn money on all those marketing and business programs that weren't a good fit for me. and that took me off course. But if I hadn't gone off course, I wouldn't have found what the right course was. I had such useful negative learning. Oh, not that, not that, not that, not that. Yeah. So just on the one that says you.
That's what I'm doing.
And I imagine you got something out of each of those things.
Oh, sure. I got positive learnings as well.
And now
That's what I
like,
did.
feels like we're benefiting from all of that.
Yeah. And then, of course, running into heart of business and really beginning to understand that whole alignment business, or what they call guidance. Lovely. Okay. Ready for one more big thing. This is going to be kind of contemplative for you guys, but for those of you who like to write, you might want to take notes as you do this. So I'm going to move you, John, so that you can get a good look at this. You're basically going to have a long line. As long as it, I mean, this space is huge. You can make it as long as you want. And at one end is going to be, this is NLP jargon. PS stands for the present state. PS stands for the desired state. Present state is the second one. Okay? The first one is March 26th. It's where you were then. So it's -1. Present state -1. This is a timeline thing. Okay? Then the next one is going to be DS, and we're just kind of arbitrarily, because it feels good for this group, early fallish. You know, it's not like what I want in 5 years. It's like the next biggish chunkish. You know? And then DS+1 could be one of two things, and you get to choose. It's either a next specific chunk you know you want, or if you don't know what's after that, it can just be you can let the universe manifest the next thing. So you'll step into it blind and let it tell you. DS+2 is definitely the blind one. No agenda. You're just going to discover. So, and if you're still not quite clear what I mean yet, don't worry. I'm going to explain everything. So there's no line. Here, you can start. At this point, John, you want to start getting pieces of paper and labeling these things. Everyone take 10.
Sticky notes?
Yeah, sticky notes or index cards. Everyone take 10. If I don't have enough, let me know. I'll cut some more up. And what you're going to do basically is write on 2 cards, PS -1. On 2 cards, PS. 2 cards, DS. 2 cards, DS+1. 2 cards, DS+2.
Would you say what DS+1 is again?
DS+1 is one of 2 things. It's either a specific future you have past the fall. Yeah, so you know by the new year you want 20 clients, or you know in the new year you're going to be doing a big program, or whatever. It can be an income goal, it can be whatever. Doesn't matter. And then DS+2 is, or it's, if you don't know what that is, I don't want to force anyone here who hasn't planned out that far. It is just that you'll step onto it and the field will tell you what it is. Okay? And DS+2 is definitely that. Okay, so it's going to be a line.
2 each for these?
Yeah. And then you're going to put them in a line like this. And you're going to be going in this direction. Okay. Now, here's the deal. This is the Leslie innovation. Copyright, Leslie Nips. You're going to have a parallel line. And this is going to be the heart of your business at the same moment.
Ooh, we love it. I love it.
And you're going to be left basically on your own devices to explore these two timelines in any way it pleases you to do it. You're going to have at least a half hour to do this, okay? Just you on your own, so we don't have to have 2 rounds or 3 rounds. Everybody's going to do this at the same time. So at some point you want to walk your line, and at some point you want to walk the heart of your business's line, stopping at each of these points. A few things I want you to do, even as you're kind of riffing. In fact, you can like hit this one and then go, oh, I want to feel what it's like over here. Before, you know, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
But there are 2 things that I want to make sure everybody includes. At some point on, whatever point you're at, notice your appreciation for all the other points. Now, it's usually most available when you're on the farthest out point in the future, looking back at the other ones, who are busy making themselves wrong about all kinds of things in the past, right? And you're like going down there to those guys, okay? And noticing that all of them are this one's necessary past, right? So that it's called rapport across selves in time, or something like that. It's really important, because we don't move forward into our future self by making our past selves wrong. Like, this is a really critical part of teamwork. Oh, I can finally stop eating if this horrible self I am now who eats too much gets conquered by the future self who, you know, has won out over the past me who ate too much. It's like, you know, you who are eating too much, whatever you were trying to accomplish with that, thumbs up. Okay? So,
You say rapport across selves, or
selves in time.
Selves in time.
So past self, future self, present self,
With all selves
rapport
in
amongst
time.
all of them. John, do you think you have this? I want you to see me again.
Yes.
Okay. And then the last thing I want you to do, or third to last, if there's something else you prefer to do last. But one of the things you want to do, theoretically, it's a desired state plus 2. So somewhere inside of you, this is what you want. This spot is really good, right? The last spot, the DS plus 2 spot, should feel really good, right? Anchor yourself somewhere at that point. Grab a finger, well, and then walk all the way back to the beginning and bring those Ks through the timeline again. So that the PS minus 1, the PS, the DS, and the DS plus 1 all have the benefit of the good Ks the DS plus 2 version of you has acquired. And then in the end, you can just walk it a few times. Okay? But any other sort of creative exploration you want to do here. Imagine that I'm over here. I'll be a little bit in the picture. This is my PS minus. This is Leslie at March 26th. Could even refer to some of the stuff I wrote down, whatever, sort of have that experience. And the next one is the PS that I wrote today. What's that like? I'm just reviewing all of these just a little bit, so everyone's really what I'm talking about. DS is kind of, you know, with the help of your interview and whatever else you know. You don't have to be super precise about this state, but just kind of what it is you'd like for the next chunk, to the degree that you know it, that spot. Oh, by then I'd like to have my website done, I'd like to really have my niche clarified, whatever it is, you know, that space. And then once you get the K of it, you don't even need to think about the content anymore, you're just doing a timeline, right? And then the next one, which is either a goal beyond that, or it's just DS plus 1, without any specification. You just let the field give you the experience. And then the last one is definitely something far enough out, it's beyond what you currently have your map to dream about. That's what's really important about the DS plus 2. It's what you don't have on your map. DS plus 1 gives you availability to have on your map, but not from the PS yet. Questions about this? This is slightly technical, so it took a bunch of explaining to sort of make clear.
Are there some questions to ask at each spot?
So typical questions are, I mean, obviously, what's the experience here? What's the feeling here? What's it like here? That kind of thing. Another typical question for this sort of thing is, what is the main belief here? What is the main question here? Sort of, for those of you who've done it, experienced Cheney kind of questions, you know? What is presupposed here? That kind of thing. And just the kind of thing we would do if I was in a representation, because really, that one makes me nervous, and I really feel fond about that one, and that one over there freaks me out, and, you know, and I don't know why, but I just feel something over here, and I don't know what it is. that kind of, you know, just really reppy kind of thing. Okay. Any other clarifying questions or confusions? And I'm going to be hanging out. I'm not going to be doing this with you because I want to be available if you get snagged or I'm noticing something and I want to, like, give you a little coaching.
So we are stepping into our future past, present, future selves, and then same with our hardware business.
Exactly. So these labels are the same. So just one line is labeled you, and the other one's labeled heart of your business. But the spots are the same.
Yeah. It feels like there's a representation. You mentioned that, so it's like I'm stepping into the representation of myself.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I get
a
little bit
different.
Okay.
Although when you didn't experience change, that was what you were doing.
Even though I didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Could you
no one has ever, I don't understand why, but no one has ever said explicitly what they do with standing anchors is the same as constellation stuff. I don't know why that's never been sort of said explicitly. I feel like I'm the only one who's ever noticed this, but I can't be, so. But I've never heard anyone else ever say it. That's why I did a whole talk on it at the Constellation Conference last year. Yes, Carolyn, you were going to have a question.
Yeah, so we just do the anchor at the end, right?
Yeah, at the very end, this should be a pleasant sensation. It should be really, I mean, there might be some complications, but it's a DS.
Right.
It's a good thing. It's a desired state. It's not the future we fear is coming at us. It's our desired state. Yeah? We're predefining it as what you would like.
Okay,
Yeah?
and you said something earlier that I kind of missed.
Yeah.
That we're supposed to be respectful of the present.
The others.
The
So
others.
basically from every position,
Mm-hmm.
you want to notice or acquire somehow respect for other views.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Now, it's usually easiest for the future one to do it for all the past ones, because the future one gets you were doing the best you could.
Okay.
The future one always understands that and loves and appreciates these. Often, the past ones can get more appreciation for the future ones after they have felt the future one's appreciation.
Okay.
You can kind of calm down a little bit. And go, oh yeah, I love you too. You know, and then it just becomes about this. But it's just really important the goal is rapport for yourselves across time.
Okay.
So nobody needs to be wrong for you to have what you would like. We don't need to make our past selves wrong for not having provided us with it yet. Right? That kind of thing.
And
Okay.
you said something like I could put my asthma in here somewhere?
Right. So
Where do I put
your
it?
asthma is part of your PS.
Okay.
Right? That's your
Okay.
present day
Okay.
experience. And so just note your relationship to that. I mean,
Okay.
anyone who's feeling like, you know, my relationship is relevant. My health sometimes can be very relevant to work.
Okay.
For me, there's some other relationships in my life that might be relevant to this. It's actually that idea.
Yeah, that's really good.
And just don't focus too much on it. Just let the
Yeah.
field communicate to you.
Okay.
Just place the intention. I want to include something around health and what's going on with my body, and then notice what you notice. Okay? I mean, it will be interesting if at DS+2 you're breathing easier. That would be nice. Sustenance along the way through time. Okay, off with you. Go away. Get started. So you have until
Yeah, what's the time frame on this? 8:22.
if we can end before 9, that would be great. Enough, like exactly half hour, should be plenty of time.
Oh, I'll give my part.
Peter's going, why did you leave the best for the last? It's like the accusation of Jesus quoting at Cana. Why did you bring out the best for the last?
Oh, I was running late.
Some of you like to make your lines really long, some of them like a little short, but anyway, it feels good to you. And John, I'll be floating around, so just call out to me if you need some help, okay?
All right.
If anyone wants me as a representative to step into something, just ask me. Feeling done, Carolyn? Feeling done? Okay. If anyone wants to call on Carolyn, unless you want to process them, right? You know what? that you do that. Everything going okay, John? Need anything?
I'm good.
I'm sorry, so
What asthma all seems to be
it's the grief thing, yeah. Yeah.
when we did that little constellation.
My impression is that when other people's anything is sticky, their anger, their whatever, it's mirroring something inside. They can also get feeling something vocational and called into that, and really called into that, into working with the time, right? But they haven't yet found their balance with it, or their boundaries with it. So it could be a sign of a calling. So it's like, oh, I like the chocolate, I'll eat a lot of it. Instead of just the amount that will feel good. And so part of it is engaging in learning where your boundaries and where your balance with it is. So it's both of those.
Yeah, it's just both.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. 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 My guess is that that's the place, that somewhere in the DS phase in there is where you figure out how to complete the greeting, or whatever it is. Or complete it enough. It might be interesting, because obviously there's plenty of candidates for things to be sad about in your personal life, in your family tree, right? You might just try at some point. Taking an object like a rock or a candle or an index card and just write that which and do some rituals with it. Like if you knew it was a person, what would you do? The greeting person would you honor them, you bow them, you cry a bit. Find some way to include other people. You think of it all rituals of a night or a year long Shiva process. Just decide, you know what? I don't need to know what it is, but it's clearly important. Just see if you can do some rituals around it. Well, and in some ways, it's kind of been the theme of our work before. I remember having this conversation about you and asthma easily a year and a half ago. Well, because that way I dated as being related, which is not uncommon. I mean, the feeling space is, yeah, the long stuff tends to be about grief.
An interesting family constellation. When we did the constellation, I don't know if you remember, because you've done so many, but it sort of went to like this section of Wyndham's family. My great grandmother and grandfather from that family. And my mom said, oh yeah, I think grandmother would have lived around here too. If she was coming out of church, she'd put a car and kill. Paul and I'm asked all about the family story. Never heard that story before last week. It's kind of funny.
Was that grandma, I mean, were her children young or were they adults?
I don't know. I'll have to ask her. I don't think they were young. I don't think so.
It's probably not all the grief, but I bet it's part of the grief.
Like,
Especially since you only found about it last week.
yeah.
So can you honor the grandma
Okay.
who got hit by a car? All the people who lost her so suddenly. Instead of you taking the job of grieving for them.
Okay.
Just not your
Okay.
job.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
then
just,
your asthma kicks up right after that.
yeah.
We'll just notice.
Yeah. It's weird. It's all very strange. I never heard that story. You know, you hear the same stories over and over again with family.
Great. The other thing, when you're making transitions in your business, which you are right now, because now you've seen clients, and now you're learning from that, new manifestations can arise. Remember, we're doing a quantum leap. We've been doing the same thing for a year or two. We don't tend to get a lot of new feelings
Yeah.
coming up.
Actually, I was talking to my mom today, and I said, "Oh, what's going on?" And I asked me to go back. She says, "Well, you're doing something new." I'm sorry. And I said, like, I have to go to work 20 hours a week or anything like I was doing before. It's new.
Smart lady.
Okay, Mom.
Anything you want to write down or journal on that?
Got it.
Thank you, Listen. Okay.
Yeah, please. And which one is it? So it's interesting. My first hit was, whoa, and then the next one it's so funny. I think when you're at over terrible that line with oh, this is quite nice. So this is like immediately and then settling into it where I feel really it's I mean, now different people are gonna don't hear your own. It's like sometimes it takes a long time here. Like too much more fun. This feels like a rival. This feels like this is your transition at the age. This feels like a landing place. Once you get here, you're kind of going to be here for a while before the plus two. more minutes. 4 more minutes, John, if you're not done yet.
How much?
4 more minutes.
Okay.
Everyone eat the apples?
Oh,
I should have set up more, but they don't fit in my container. Only so much fits.
Going after these crackers, so like I do. Don't forget the last time. Take the DS cage back to the beginning. Take it through the line so those feelings are available for everybody.
I tried it out kind of actively with introducing myself to a group of creative. It's along the lines of- also, I don't know, I'm still doing it. I did it somehow really nicely in that group. I mentioned you guys and then
There's some more in this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I guess
Blank
I
ones,
took
no.
these.
Those will be thrown away. You can play with them more if you want.
I was just thinking of this exercise. back in the master's.
Not midway in masters, we do the experiments too.
Remember how hard and also how it had a very and by the end of it, then it came what that DS plus 2 a year later. So that was
Yay, that's our
me
goal.
too. It was incredible. You heard of the flow state?
Sure.
That's what I was able to.
We did this exercise with them a long time ago with
Yes.
rocks in your house.
Yeah.
We did them with rocks.
Yeah, we just did one line and we did the full experience change, so it has the PS plus 1, PS plus 2, PS plus 3 to the DS. So that's, I mean, I didn't do the in-between stages.
Just kind of like littler steps between DS and
Yeah, it's giving the brain a way to figure out how to get from here to there.
right.
That's not what this was about.
Is that good for you?
So John, come on back, sweetie.
Okay.
So, in some ways, I'm most like John in the room in this regard, but listening to some of you, I wanted to remind you that in 2009, I made $9,000. In 2010, I made $18,000. In 2011, I made $24,000. In 2012, I'm probably getting the years wrong. I made this is right. I made $36,000, and then last year I got up to 55, which is really nice. But from the point of view of the 2009 person who was only making $9,000, the pace seemed achingly slow. And I was in my job. Now, I wasn't like John in that I did like my job. I didn't want to be in my job, but I knew it was an honorable, good job. And it wasn't harming me to go to this job. Last few years got a little tricky, but what we want to have rapport with is all ourselves across time and not make ourselves wrong for doing it any way other than the way we're doing it. The ironic thing, and this is where you go la 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 la, you actually go faster. But that isn't the motivation for getting a rapport with yourself in the moment, because that actually kind of takes you out of rapport. Well, I'm going to get in rapport in order to go faster. So I just wanted to remind folks. Now, that's very easy to say. Yeah, I'm in some ways kind of arrived. Although in many ways I don't see it that way. I mean, I'm still just scraping by in the Bay Area at $55,000 a year, right? But scraping by is fine. I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm doing my bills, no problem.
You're doing what you love.
Yeah. Yeah, just wanted to say that. So at this point, I wanted to just share in any way it pleases you to share. Everyone has about 5 minutes here or so. And then I want to do kind of a little ritual at the end. That'll take a few minutes. But whatever you want to say about what you just did, you learned, anything you want to say about the overall 4-month experience, anything you want to say about what's coming up next, or none of the above. What if you were driving home tonight and you didn't say it, you'd be kicking yourself. Share that.
I'll share something I didn't share last time. I just really felt really good about my DF+2s. Both of them were just fantastic. And I'm dyslexic, so I set up my whole timeline backwards. So when I realized that, I walked my timeline backwards, then I walked it forwards. And so I walked it backwards and forwards. So I figured I got it all covered. And I was totally okay with myself walking it backwards and forwards. I'm like, oh, nobody else even did that tonight.
There's something about the metaphor of backing yourself into your future is kind of pleasing.
So that was interesting when I realized I started that. Anyway, and then I had an insight into my asthma around sadness. So that's a really good thing that I'm going to meditate on. And I have been feeling a lot of sadness this week. So that was a nice insight. And I just have to share what my DS+2 is. So
Details.
the DF+2 for myself was just loving support from my husband.
Oh, wow.
Which was just so sweet and so unexpected. And then the DS+2 for Heart of My Business was just pure celebration. So those two, walking those back and forward, I felt pretty good with that. So that was really sweet.
You reiterate the thing that I've joked about repeatedly, but it is so true. The best personal growth program in the universe is starting your own business, because you'll have to deal with all your stuff. You can be in a crappy job for a long time and endure it and not have any growth. But if you're going to be successful in business, your stuff is going to come up and you'll just have to kind of systematically work it through. And what you're noticing is that when you get to your DS+2, how much healing is taking place because of that. And not just for you, but for your whole family. It's really lovely. Yeah.
Not just for you, but your whole what?
Family.
Family. Okay, you're fooling.
I was really touched by how my heart of my business, all the presuppositions were always so like supportive, like positive, and felt like the heart of my business was curing for me in a way that I don't always notice or see for myself. It was so touching. But overall, I think it was DS or DS plus one. But for me, what I realized is a goal is to deepen the relationship with myself. And so that was the question. It's like, trust. How do I trust myself more? How do I have a better relationship with myself? And that was, it was kind of a mental, huh? What? What? You don't have a relationship with yourself? What does that mean? You know? So it was just a really interesting and kind of new territory for me. As someone who has been like journaling all her life, and like, right? Still don't have. So maybe if there's some updating, I was just happy though. I feel like this timeline that it showed me was that my biggest journey is the one that I take inside. That's where all the juice is for me. And by the time I got to DS plus 2, I had the juice step into my part of my business, the meditative state. But I think it's the flow state. Because when I'm writing, I am super in the flow state. I want to bring that to everything. I want to bring that to the business. I want to bring that to my physical health. And also the DS plus 2 was me deepening my capybara game, which is also about relationship with self. Doing it for me instead of being just a student who goes to class. So there's this distinction in the capoeira community when one owns the game. Like, I want to own my game. And so in DS plus 2, I was owning the game for myself.
Oh,
It was just so loving.
Nice.
And it's also part of it. It feels like I'm being pulled to that. The physical level just feels so good. So delicious. That physicality of the game, which is actually a shamanic practice. So it's very much about relationship with self. I can play it with another person. So it's about that relationship and the play, dance, fight also, and it's also very so much joy in the way we're being trained in my academy. It's just a tremendous amount of joy. So we're like, oh, I love that.
Lovely. Thank you.
Can speak after the microphone.
Yes.
Oh wow, that was really sweet. And when I actually stepped into my PS minus one, I just didn't realize just kind of how sad and scared I was going to be.
Oh wow.
Until I actually like stood on the representative for it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there's that. I walked through, and then I checked out my business, and my business, I'm like, oh, it was really kind of funny. It's been fairly consistent, you know. So my PS1, business was just like got represented by a lot of people, which is like, like really focused and just very like new. It's almost like a teenager growing up, kind of like through these different, birth like a kid, and then it's a baby, kid, and then playfulness, kind of as a teenager, just feels like it's maturing through this process, and incorporating different aspects of sort of my passion. So, a lot of movement and a lot of kind of going from like sort of like this to like a smooth flowing movements. That's the way it showed up. And then at the DS plus 2, everything got very still. Even for me, for when I was at the DS plus 2, it felt kind of like a really big openness, and almost like I was looking at the world from different eyes, thinking of something, and almost kind of like surveying the battlefield, but not necessarily out over the world in a different and my business was very calm. And it was almost like I went from kind of like sort of like dancing business to calm business, and almost like the sense of like totally ready whatever I wanted to do. And I was also like, am I not doing this right? Am I feeling something wrong here? But when I got to my DS +1, after I brought in unexpected from my DS2, I started to cry. And it was this, oh my God, like we're really, there are these amazing people. This is actually like really happening. Really is really happening. And it's really exciting. So
Can you hear John?
Some of it.
Really, that chance is not figured out.
The more emotional you get, the quieter you get.
And again, stepping into that DS+2 felt very calm. I still don't have a sense of what it is, but it feels like a level up almost, like kind of like going like and starting from a beginning place, but with way like with the ecology worked out, the ecology supporting whatever it is that I'm doing. There's not excitement. It's just kind of like, okay, this is where I am, and I'm viewing it from a different set of eyes. So yeah, that was interesting. I loved it. The one thing I did just want to say is thank you everyone who's been vulnerable in the class along the time I was parts of this. It was in class who is bringing it down a level, you know, like there's been sort of those thoughts that are running through my head as I'm recognizing that there's some unhappiness in areas that happen like that. And knowing that that's not actually true, that's the feeling that was sort of coming up a little bit. And just to kind of reminding myself, yeah, this is the way that it's unfolding. I really wanted to just sort of share some of that, like, yeah, that's what. But I've gotten so much out of it. I'm doing the next one. I'm really.
It's interesting because one of the things that was quite a element of that one big group I did, Thrive Academy, was that there was very limited tolerance for any negative thinking. If you shared fears, obstacles, blocks, they called them gremlins there, you could do it for, that was their word for ecology, basically. They would put up with it to a point, and then they basically let you know you were bringing the group down, and you were being self-defeating. Like, your job is to think positively about things. And what we learned from the constellation format is that if we don't include those representations, whatever they are, they will fuck you up.
Punch you in the ass.
Right? Yeah. Systems don't like it when we discard, ignore, outcast, eliminate, you know, try and smother things that are really, really important. And we notice the relief the minute that we include them. It doesn't fix everything, but there's like, you know, it really supports the system when it gets included. So, thank you. So thank you for everyone who ever said, and then said, what would I like? Reached for the next thing.
Well, thank you for having a space so we could do that.
This is really unique. I know you probably know that.
Let's think of creating something new. Although, again, we're a big tip of the hat part of it, as they do with many of these pieces, but not quite in the same format and without the family constellation. Joshua or John?
I can go.
Excellent.
So, actually I got a lot out of that, actually. There was some things that I saw at every step of the way that, and like helping them all relate to each other was really an amazing experience, and I'm very glad that I got to do that exercise. One of the first messages that I got from my DS+2 back to all the rest of them was, getting it wrong is not going to hurt you as much as you think it is.
What a great line. Everyone write that down.
That is so important.
That's the title of your next book, John. I would buy it.
Yeah. Can you say it again, John?
Getting it wrong is not going to hurt you as much as you think it is.
What else?
So that one, then the one that I got from my Heart of Business was compassion for where I came from, like really kind of an acknowledging of where I started and how far I've come, and honoring the value of that. You know, even now when I'm kind of in the thick of it again.
I mean, it is very interesting. A large part of us would like the magic wand and to have just the healing done now or in the next moment. But the us who actually did the healing is glad to have participated in the process and made it happen, rather than being given the magic pill to just feel all better all of a sudden. So, because it's evidence of our courage and our ingenuity and our resourcefulness and all that stuff.
Compassion too.
What else, John? Anything else about that you want to share?
I'm really looking forward to getting to my DS and DS+1 and DS+2. Who isn't? One of the interesting things, one of the things I saw in my PS-1 were some things that I wasn't so much aware of at the time, although I was aware of some of it. And I'm much more aware of now some of the things of what I'm up against and what I'm working with, and this recognition of the cycle. Like, even though there's slow progress and pain and intense feelings and some bitterness, there's a recognition that this is a cycle, or part of a cycle, and this too will pass.
Thank you, John. Joshua.
Well, it was this really nice progression, and And at the end, the DS+2s were surprising. Like, I had a similar shift. Things were feeling more and more exciting and like energized, and then that DS+2 really shifted in how they felt good. Like, for me, my DS+2 just felt like when I step onto that card, I start going forward. And there's this feeling of just easy movement. And for the part of my business, the DS+2 felt like it transformed into some sort of change. Like had this feel of transformation. Wow, it's a big difference. My DS heart of business wants to have a party. Like for real, like let's have an actual celebration of getting.
Well,
And it was really nice to have. One of the things that I was kind of not frustrated with, but you know, it's actually kind of asking about this is like, what am I supposed to do checking in with the heart of my business when it's just kind of like, happy to be there and happy to take my lead, and that's about it. It was really nice to have a feeling of an impulse from the heart of my business. That it wasn't just this like neutral, yeah, like neutral thing along for the ride.
yeah.
And it was almost like it was all up to me. It was like, thank you. And there was this sense of progression of like of capability for sure. You know, the beliefs went from like I don't know how to I'm learning to I'm doing it to this is who I am, and now I'm like actually getting clever. To I can create or have what I want. Like that was really big. And like from each spot looking back, it was like, wow, that didn't take that long. Like time and patience. It was like looking back, it's like not actually that long. Whereas like looking forward, it was like ever since
Now I'm getting Martin Luther King going, long, not long. Not long. Oh, no, not long.
It's a matter of perspective.
Great argument.
And the heart of my business had a similar like feel the developmental part. Like, you know, it's the heart of my business, or is me looking at each other, like at each step of the way, and like both of us developing. Oh, and bringing the DS+2 to the timeline. The way that it shifted my experience. Also remains certainly made. I mean, the card that felt most uncomfortable was the PS-1 for the heart of my business, where it felt sad and broken and dragged down and ignored and like its value not recognized. It's like,
It was so hard for you back then. I'm so sorry.
But like in one card, it went from that to cheerful, happy, playful, and self-satisfied. So like that much. So yeah.
Oh, this is lovely.
I would say, Leslie, that a surprising result for me in this class has been the opportunity for me to develop a spiritual practice as part of, as a foundation of my business. and not the part to go to, but what was foreign was putting it as an underpinning, a conscious underpinning of the business, instead of, oh yeah, in my past I did all that training and NLP. I do family constellations, by the by. No, it's like, no, this stuff lives underneath. It's foundational. And clearly, it's always been there. I'm very open about that part of my life, but to bring it into there, and now I want to bring it out into the open. And as part of, this is what I see. And in a unique way. And I help novelists. I thought I would be a self-help writer. I thought I would really happy. Very happy. But I would say that you brought me that in this class, and you're and it's that whole piece of not expecting my business to be validation, that whole validation piece, the value piece. Right. Instead of looking for value through my work, finding the value in
just because you are.
Because I am. And I put it in my newsletter that's going to go out tomorrow.
Okay.
Says, just so you have a frame of reference, the value of this discovery session is invaluable. Like you, like I am, like you are, but here's the money. No. I mean, I said it nicer than that, but more elegantly. But I'm like, you are invaluable, y'all. And yes, dollars I love it, shall we? Because I'm in the business.
Convenience purposes.
Can I just say that I text messaged with someone today who asked me what my request was session.
Oh wow!
And it felt totally legit.
Wow!
It's like, yeah, I want to refer someone to you, so let's just tell them.
Oh, cool. Well done. Took me 2 years to get to 200 an hour.
I'm sorry.
2-hour session.
I don't want to 175 an hour.
Yeah, I don't know why 200 feels good.
Yeah,
it just feels good.
It feels good.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
I mean, that basically, what Beth's saying and what you're saying is, a week ago I worked with someone who many people know here, really gifted NLP practitioner, got into this Thrive world, is getting a lot of good stuff out of it, but was trying to fulfill rules, the guidance. And it got her so badly off track. And in 1 2-hour session, it wasn't like I taught her the right, no, that's the wrong way, this is the right way. I got her back in touch with her values and integrity with respect to what she wants to offer and what she wants to do and how she wants to talk about it. And when she was done, she was like, oh my God, I didn't even know I needed that. So the spirituality, an atheist can have spirituality. It's just about having a true north. It's about having a guidance system. It's about knowing your values and being able to feel when you're off course. It's not about never getting off course, but able to feel, oh, no, that I'm not feeling good about that price. It's too high. Well, I'm not feeling good about that price. It's too low. What's that about? Let's inquire. Oh, this partnership that seemed to make sense is now making me feel cranky. What's going on? Being able to, if we're not in alignment as we do business, there's just, either we're going to succeed and be really, really miserable, or because we're actually heart-centered people, we're just not going to succeed. We're just going to kind of like barely.
We're sort of kind of in a blip and then it's gone.
Yeah, it's not workable for the long haul. It's not sustainable. So that's the spirituality. Now, it's really nice if you have a specific spiritual practice and all that sort of thing, but some way for tracking that for yourself is just, does this copy feel good or not? Does this program feel good or not? Is it in alignment? How am I understanding this interaction with this other person, and how am I honoring the interaction and the dignity of both of us? And just staying in context with that. And believing you can have all that and you can make money. Like there's an alignment there too.
And would you say that part of this, either the spiritual practice is also the ability not only to notice when you're off track or out of alignment, but to know how to get back in alignment.
Right. It's a correction system.
But I notice that the writers I work with, they have it, or they're in the
Right.
process of developing it.
Right.
And then the writers who get stuck more often don't have it.
Yeah.
And don't know how to reconnect.
Right. Artists have to have this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this looks right. Oh, it's not quite right yet.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, right?
They also, I notice the ones who have the hardest time, they don't know how to deconstruct what's working well, how to replug.
Right.
They can plug themselves in, but then get off track, but not know how to get back. It's an interesting challenge that I'm actually eager to talk to my clients about because I think that would be successful.
And the nice thing about all this is that you don't have to know how to do that being in business. If you're willing to learn this, if you're aware it's important to learn, you'll get better and better at the corrections as you go along. I mean, definitely, ever since I first sort of got this framework with the Heart of Business people about 1.5 years ago, I now do it so much more quickly and so much more intuitively than I did. I mean, it used to be kind of really done on manual. But you get better and better and better and better at it to the point where it's you're in some ways the going off track is just every once in a while to notice the track.
Like when you get on, you're driving and you get those bump things on the thing. Bump. Oh, oops.
The pleasure of going, oh no, this is the right place. So it's like everything else. It's a learned skill, and all of us do it beautifully in some place in our lives, and it's just learning how to apply it to the business setting and all the other more nuts and boltsy kinds of learnings you're acquiring, which is all new and foreign, and you're trying to integrate it and all that stuff. And we have no real way. We don't think of business as being a spiritual practice. Except for certain modest circles. Okay, any last comments before we do our last kind of rituals? I want to acknowledge that there's some people who've decided to continue on. So I believe these three are on board. Carolyn's clear, and John's still discerning a little bit. Anything else do you want to say anything about that, John, right now, or are you still enough in process that you don't want to say anything?
Mostly it's still in process. So yeah.
And John and I might find other ways of working together going forward.
If I don't continue, then I will definitely miss it. I know that.
There will be an absence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we will say to Carolyn and John, bon voyage. Stay in touch. And I'm still here, and these people are all here. So when you're ready to, for me, what I tend to do, to be honest, is I'll kind of do a program for a season, and then I'll do it on my own for a season, and then I come up and do a program for a season. So if you're looking like you want help down the road. So any other last thoughts before we do the final ritual stuff?
Thank you to John and Catherine. It's awesome.
Yep, and they have a little pile of tea. Okay, so this is the way we're going to do the last little bit. Oh, interesting. Last time I looked at that clock, it was 20 minutes ago. We're going to do a little blessing thing for each person. And for each person, one other person is going to partner with them to represent the heart of their business. And the rest of us will just be ourselves blessing them. What I want to do is, I think, do this at the corner of the table so we can put John on the table and we can all kind of gather around. And when you do this, what I want you to do is hold in mind everybody's DSs. Now you're blessing the whole deal, but there's something quite powerful, like for NLP people who sit and hold space for the client's desired state that they cannot yet hold for themselves. Okay. So that's what we're doing a little bit. The way this is going to work is that we'll come close to the computer so John can be participating. I'm just going to pretend for a moment it's you two guys. Let's just say it's Peter we're blessing. This is the heart of our business. You would come over here just so that we can all kind of bless, okay? And we might touch, and you'll put it on your computer and stuff like that, okay? And anyone who wants to say something about that person, having been inspired by their journey and anything you kind of like about the person, just say it, okay? Okay. So who feels groovy about going first? Everyone's gonna get all shy. She's turning beet red. So actually, just so for John's sake, can you, whoever's going, be in the middle, so John can see, and we'll just be kind of in a close-knit circle. Who would like to be best representative? Okay, not representative, but the heart of business. So you're shoulder to shoulder. Okay. Can you say the heart of your business? Okay. So. Okay. Everybody come in close. Come on. Touch. Touchy, touchy, touchy. Yeah. Anyone who wants to say something?
Rocket Mama.
Bless your spirit. Needs and art in just the right ways. Okay.
So I really feel like you've really been on top of things, and like you're on top of your business, and like things are going well for you, and that's, I think that's really awesome, and I'm jealous.
From your strength, say something to her too, John.
And you have my blessing to continue to fly.
Okay. Now, just arrange for it that you are the heart of someone's business once, so everybody gets to do it once. Okay? So who's next? Okay. Then choose someone to be the heart of your business. And do remember at some point John is going to be a heart of a business too. Okay? And come a little bit closer. There you go. So right there for a sec. Okay. Okay. Come in close. Touch these people. Oh. God bless you. Have fun.
Hugs out into
Would you like to add something, John?
Mm. Hmm. First words are amazing progress.
Really honor
And I'm rooting for you.
really honor and respect your integrity along with being for you.
Are you hearing this, John?
I can't hear.
Okay, so I'm going to ask everyone. Everyone's putting on their church voices as we bless people. This frequently happens. So I invite you to speak up just so that John can participate here too. Okay? Okay. Die nächste.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Then choose your heart of your business.
Oh,
You already did
Oh,
one.
you already did one.
So it's me or Beth or John.
I'll
Okay, coming a little closer. Okay. So I'm not blocking the microphone. I wasn't on that, so you all want to.
I see your wings and the beauty of your flight.
So I still can't hear.
Yeah, so people speak up just a little bit.
You're a little girl coming out to play with the business.
And I'm honored to, as the heart of your business, to play and create alongside you.
And your turn, John.
I kind of have the feeling like you're on the top of a big slide and like just sort of pushing off.
John or Joshua?
What would you like?
Okay, I'll go.
And choose me or Joshua. No, Beth.
I
Or
just
who's-
was.
Me.
Peter or me as your heart of your business.
Leslie, would you?
Okay. So I'll be right next to you. You guys can't see.
That's
the screen.
actually.
May you be carried by and feel all the support beneath you.
Your smile will carry you through.
And John, I bring blessings from the California redwoods and all the trees who are there surrounding you with love.
And as the heart of your business right now, what I feel is tons of affection for you, but I actually feel very strongly that you are blessing me.
I bless your brave soul.
So who hasn't gone yet?
Me.
And I haven't gone.
Oh yeah.
Who hasn't done a heart of business?
I have not done.
Okay, there you go.
And he
Okay.
hasn't done.
And he hasn't done a heart business. So
There
you
we
can
go.
choose from John or Peter. Such a choice.
I'll go with John.
Okay, you stand in that spot then. Oddly enough, I'm being really inspired to bless your impatience.
What is what?
Impatience.
His impatience. And that it find the right balance with patience, that it not be actually rubbed out or gotten rid of, but the sense of urgency and now, and the patience find a good partnership.
Bless your curiosity and your willingness to explore and try anything.
Josh, I bless your desire and ability to lift off.
Blessings to all your projects. May they all take off.
Okay.
Awesome.
Hey, and the last one. Come on over, part of my business. Make sure we get the screen. Oh, John. We good. John, did you freeze? You definitely froze.
He's frozen. There's
John's
John.
just trancing out.
There's John meditating.
Let's see.
He's quite a meditator.
I think we've lost the feed.
I lost him.
We lost him. Oh, well, he'll have to watch the last little bit on recording. Yep, he went away. So maybe he'll call back in. We can say goodbye to him. Okay.
Blessing weirdness.
Yeah.
Close a few seconds.
At least it got done before he left. After he got left. Okay,
Yeah, I'm back.
Yay!
He's back.
So, as the heart of Joshua's business, I felt kind of like a bird, like spreading my wings and launching to take flight.
Excellent. Lovely.
Yay.
Okay. Okay, part of my business.
I bless your peace as you move along your path.
Leslie, I bless your big vision and your persistence at the day-to-day.
All your abilities. And keep getting more and more.
continue to be so strongly and well supported. We support others.
What pops out at me is your solidity and like there's a weight to what you're doing that will not be denied.
Part of your business.
You're big. Okay, thank you, everyone. So can everyone take a moment we went over a little bit. Wave to John. Make sure you can say hello to you.
Bye, John.
Everybody stay in touch if that is part of what you're moved to. And we'll say goodbye to you, John, tonight. And you and I will be in touch soon, okay?
Okay.
Good night.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later.